Hey there, welcome to That Dang Dad. My name is Phil. The last couple of years, I've tried to end the year with a positive video telling you about games and movies and music that I've enjoyed. And while I still think it's a great idea to highlight good things from the year, for some reason I just didn't feel like doing a list this year. First of all, my game of the year is boring. Baldur's Gate 3 with Tears of the Kingdom right behind it. Whoa, wow, what bravery, how fascinating, right? My favorite album of 2023 is Aesop Rock's Integrated Tech Solutions, but I only bought a couple of releases from this year, so that's not exactly a thrilling analysis either. Movie of the year? I don't know, Barbie, Infinity Pool, although that would be an amazing crossover now that I say that. Actually, I really liked They Cloned Tyrone. You should go check that out, it's a hoot. But yeah, something about doing just another year-end list didn't really spark joy, so I wanted to go a different route. I have two other games on my Game of the Year list that haven't gotten a ton of press, and I feel like they're in conversation with each other in a really interesting way. The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is the latest joint from Deconstruct Team, who brought us the excellent Red Strings Club some years back. In the game, you play Fortuna, a fortune-telling witch who has been exiled to an asteroid for 1,000 years for predicting the downfall of your coven. In the game, perhaps out of spite, perhaps out of boredom, you make a pact with an ancient eldritch demon in exchange for the power to build your own custom tarot deck. You use this custom deck to help a number of witches in their personal lives and influence the direction of your coven. Saltsea Chronicles is the latest game from... Die Gute Fabrik? Die Gute Fabrik? Die Gute Fabrik! Creators of the also excellent Mutazione. In Saltsea Chronicles, you play not as a single character, but as the would-be crew of a ship whose vessel gets impounded and whose captain gets kidnapped. Or was she? In the game, you explore the Saltsea archipelago, all that remains of a particular continent in the wake of a global flood caused by the hoarders of centuries past. As you navigate the seas, you must also navigate the relationships among the crew as issues and grievances arise. While the settings are quite a bit different, the games have a lot in common. They both take place in a postmodern future, dealing with the fallout of today's excesses of capitalism and empire. They're both mainly played via interacting with conversation options, and they're both very gay! But most importantly, both games are about what it means to build and maintain community. And both games have a lot of thoughts about what we should do when members of a community cause harm. In Saltsea Chronicles, this isn't the first time that Captain Maja has disappeared, and her partner Molpe struggles not to let her resentment and anger cloud her judgment in case Maja actually is in danger this time. But that's only the first of many instances and degrees of harm that must be dealt with in the game. Merle, the bookish historian of the group, is often condescending, if not outright dismissive, of other people's cultures, much to the frustration of Iris, who grew up in an insular enclave steeped in tradition. The crew visits a volcanic island where visitors who want to party at the hot springs and scientists who want to study the volcano are constantly disrespecting the locals and risking their safety. And what's to be done when somebody makes a deadly mistake while trying, in their mind, to save lives? Saltsea Chronicles takes us on a tour of many communities, each built slightly differently with different customs and different challenges, and each member of the crew has their own reaction to these localities depending on who you choose to bring. In contrast, Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood mainly focuses on a single community, your coven. The biggest difference is that in Cosmic Wheel, you are initially the person who caused the harm. At least, that's how your coven's leader feels. A lot of the game revolves around how you personally want to handle that accusation and whether you want to make amends or handle things a different way. Then, as the story progresses, you mediate between other witches who feel harmed by each other, and you'll have the opportunity to perhaps take even more liberties with your friends and colleagues in order to get closer to your own goals. If you believe your community harmed you, what obligation do you have to see to their well-being versus your own? It's funny, both games are about one person who made a big choice that caused a lot of problems in a community. In one, you play as that person. In the other, you play as the community itself. I was really moved by both these stories. Yeah, I cried during each. Want to fight about it? And I think one of the reasons is that 2023 has been a big year for me in terms of thinking about my own relationship to community. Like, I was mentoring with a local queer outreach in Louisville, but I really wanted to get my daughter away from the theocrats in the Kentucky legislature that was trying to take away her rights. I walked away from a good community doing good work to get my daughter somewhere that I thought she would be safer. And now I'm looking for ways to do good work in this new community. This same year, I've been a part of online left-wing communities that have splintered over bad behavior by members that went, if not unaddressed, at least unresolved to everyone's satisfaction. I've watched a number of projects and organizations fizzle over infighting and breaches of trust between members. And I've watched politicians sell out their constituents for lobbyist cash or crass careerism, politicians who were supposed to know better, who were supposed to be better. As we get ready to put a bow on this year and move on to the next, I'll be honest with you. I am dangling by the thinnest of threads, wanting to just take the black pill and speed the collapse. The one thing that gives me hope in this world is seeing the power of the people when they work together. And the thing that keeps dashing that hope is watching the people turn on each other, hurt each other, abandon each other over and over and over and over again. And I'm not immune from this either. I've blocked more people online in 2023 than probably the previous 5 years combined. I might have blocked you, the girl watching this, because you did something online that I found vaguely annoying. I myself can be pretty miserly when it comes to extending grace these days. And this dovetails with the experience I'm having where every year on these year-end videos I've complained about not reading as many books as I used to, and this year is even worse. I've been reading Debt and Black Marxism for what feels like 9 months now with hardly any progress. Anytime I have the time to read, I gravitate towards movies or mostly games instead. And I'm starting to realize that I'm just too emotionally exhausted to keep reading about all the damn bullshit in the world. At least playing games gives me some control over something. At least in Cosmic Wheel, I got to help enact gay communism in the Coven. In Saltsea Chronicles, I got to help Merle and Iris reconcile. You can say doing gay communism in a game isn't helping anything, but reading about it AFK ain't doing much for me right now either. And look, I don't want to dwell on this too much because I know what the solution is. Gotta get out there and get to work building community with others. For guys like me with money and able bodies, that means getting to work cooking, cleaning, delivering, whatever. The only antidote for the black pill is getting out there and linking arms with others. Get busy living or get busy dying.
Get busy living or get busy dying. That's goddamn right.
Midway through Saltsea Chronicles, one of the communities you visit experiences a disaster. And they experience this disaster right when the crew finally has a lead on where to find their missing captain. It would be so easy and so reasonable to ignore someone else's issues to focus on your own. But they don't. It's not even an option. When the crew hears a distress call, they divert course, they come ashore, and they do something very important. Something we can all learn from. They walk up to somebody in crisis and they ask, "What do you need me to do for you?" I don't know about you, but for me, that's a mindset I need to practice. Anyway, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I don't find that to be a very helpful ritual, but the end of the calendar year does provide us with a nice, natural place to stop, take a beat, collect our thoughts, and check whether we are headed in a direction that gets us closer to where we want to be. For me, 2023 was a year of instability and uncertainty. A year where I changed roles at work, I left friends and family behind in Kentucky, and I started a new chapter in Minnesota. 2023 has been a year of being jostled, tussled, and kerfuffled. And I have it easy. From Ukraine and Russia, to the Congo, to Armenia, to Myanmar, to Sudan, to Ethiopia, to Palestine, even to Florida and Texas. 2023 has been cruel and unrelenting to many millions of vulnerable people. So in 2024, I may not be able to solve all these massive problems around the world, but I can start lending my time and my body to help with small problems in my own community. And while I can't hope to create widespread stability during capitalism's slow, caustic collapse, I can link up with people around me who need the same things that I do: food, shelter, dignity, autonomy. And enough people banding together in a giant group hug can feel pretty damn stable even on choppy seas. And yeah, I mix metaphors like I'm cooking a homemade curry. If that's a crime, well then put me in the penalty box, Your Highness. But to bring it back around, For me, the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood and Saltsea Chronicles are two angles on something that's important to me moving forward. Building community, participating responsibly, and making sure that harms are acknowledged, addressed, and resolved, if not repaired. Cosmic Wheel examines the isolation and resentment that can occur when someone is exiled from a community in a top-down process designed to punish rather than repair and restore. It explores the way communities can dissolve into warring factions and depicts a situation in which a focus on power over solidarity can destroy a good thing. Saltsea Chronicles arguably depicts the tougher angle, wrestling with how to treat someone who's harmed you within a community you all rely on for survival, and even worse, when that person is convinced they were trying to help. From the gameplay to the story beats, Saltsea asks us to think community first, individual second. In the game, the crew makes decisions democratically and by consensus. And in the game, thoughts of revenge are quickly redirected towards asking the question, what will repair this breach? This is not an academic exercise in Saltsea. The world is broken. Communities only have each other, and no one can afford to be treated disposably. Saltsea Chronicles never assumes that this will be an easy process. It simply reminds you that the alternative is so much more destructive. If these kinds of discussions are important to you, not only would I recommend checking out these games, I'd recommend checking out the Leftist Cook's recent video on harm and forgiveness. It is a massive deep dive on the topic, and in my opinion, it's crucial to engage with if we hope to get anything done via organizing. And I swear, it was a happy accident that I was working on the script while their video came out. I'm not just shouting them out because they shouted me out. Also, while I was writing this, Hoots came out with a new video that contains within it a call to confront the mean streak that may live inside of us, and to rededicate ourselves to empathy and solidarity. What is going on? Why is this on everyone's minds right now? Something is happening culturally, and I'm just so curious what it portends. And if none of that is your speed, go play Dave the Diver. Catch fish by day, serve sushi by night. You can put anime girls on your boat, enough said. Anyway, what do you think? Do you want to tell me your media of the year? I can't stop you. Want to talk about your goals for 2024? I'm a roast, baste me. I want to thank you for another great year of getting to hang out with you all. Reviewing my output for 2023, it's another year of work that I'm proud of. We talked about movies and music and video games and cop stuff and academic stuff and community stuff and personal stuff. I even did a bunch of collabs, which I almost never do. I haven't hit that magic arbitrary number of 50,000 subscribers, much less gotten even close to getting the big silver play button. But honestly, I couldn't be happier working the way I work, at a pace I enjoy working, creating things that are meaningful to me. And it's already fucking bananas that I can have a weird idea at midnight, talk about it on camera, and 3,000 of you consistently show up to be like, yes, tell me more. That is very humbling, and I appreciate the trust that you all invest in me. Anyway, if I don't see you again before the end of the year, I hope you have a happy holiday season if you celebrate stuff, or at least a relaxing winter or summer, depending on which side of the globe you're on. 2024 is gonna be a fucking year, I can already tell. So rest up and we will hit it hard when the time comes. Be safe and please take care of yourself. Have a good night.